Hi, I'm Pastor Eric from Trinity Lutheran Church here in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. And I want to invite you into a conversation called Gospel Connections, where we'll explore a theme from this past Sunday's worship service a little more in depth to see the deeper meaning and significance behind it. This past Sunday, February 21st, was the first Sunday in Lent. And we typically start the first Sunday in Lent with a story surrounding Jesus' temptation in the desert. So here, Jesus is baptized by John in the River Jordan, and then he is immediately sent out into the wilderness and experiences the temptations. What this does for us hearing the story today and for generations of Christians is helps us understand an additional layer about Jesus. That Jesus is empathetic. He understands what it means to be tempted. He understands what it means to go through trials in our lives. And as you look at this story of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, we have an empathetic God who understands pain, suffering, trials, temptations, rejections, also understands what it means to when you're actually fully innocent but proven guilty, tortured, and then killed on a cross for the proclamation of the word in those teachings. So we have a God who understands a lot about the human experience, as we recognize Jesus was fully God and fully human. So we have this connection that's special. We recognize that in our lives specifically when we see pain and suffering in the world. We can understand that Jesus is alongside us during those times, and we have scripture that describes that, about Jesus being with those who are hungry, sick, in pain, or thirsty, or may not have clothing. And we also understand that we also have a God who understands pain and suffering or trials. Recently, as I was talking with our church staff, and we were also discussing frequently with different members of our congregation, and specifically members who have family members who are experiencing bouts of cancer. So they have challenges regarding their health, whether that's members of our congregation or, like I said, extended members of our congregation dealing with those challenges. And that's a reality of pain and suffering in this world. And it's been challenging for us to hear, and we want to make sure to pray and to keep them in our thoughts and prayers as those members of our community and beyond are going through these challenging times. But I want us to be reminded of an additional sense of comfort that Jesus understands pain and suffering. Jesus prioritizes being present with those who are experiencing pain and suffering. And he does through each of us who are able to visit, talk to, reach out, and connect with. That's one way we can share Jesus' love. But recognizing that Jesus' love is with those who are experiencing sickness and challenges with health. That's where Jesus is, amongst those who are in need. In addition, is also alongside those doctors and nurses and family and friends who are able to visit and be present with them as well. So this reality this past Sunday, understanding that we have an empathetic God who recognizes trials and temptations, pain and suffering, but then prioritizes his presence with those in need, is something that's comforting for me, and I hope is comforting for each of you as we recognize the challenges that we face as mortal humans that will experience that in one way or another at some time. But we can find comfort in knowing that we have a God who understands and who is present with, and that we will never be separated from their love no matter what. It's something that is joyous, that we can hold on to individually and share with others in our community as we proclaim the good news of Jesus through word and deed. It's good news that we have Jesus, a God who is empathetic and understands our pain and suffering. Well, I look forward to catching up next week, and thank you for spending time with me today or whenever you may see this Gospel Connections. And I wish you a blessed Lenten journey as we navigate together towards Easter. Goodbye, and God bless.